accidents are terrifying experiences. You're hurt, and you need someone on your side who understands. Call the Advocates. They have over 20 years of experience with accident cases and have recovered settlements for hundreds of other motorcyclists. They can handle the medical bills and deal with the insurance company so you can focus on recovering and getting back on your bike. The Advocates are my motorcycle attorneys.
You deserve clear, risk-free advice to help get you back on your feet. You deserve an advocate.
This is The Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find The Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, The Monty Show. Happy Tuesday. It is June 30th, 2024. Hello. As always, we are presented by The Advocates, theadvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business. You know, guys, I tell you pretty much every day, when you get in an accident, I am begging you not to trust your insurance company. And I had a long, winding discussion with a listener of ours yesterday about insurance companies. And this particular person is supposedly a top producing agent at one of the nameplate insurance companies who got upset with me because I said, do not trust your insurance companies. How many times are we going to see it where you get in a car accident like, yeah, sorry, that's not covered, bud. But if you sign right here, it'll all come to a quick end. And they're asking you to sign things. You don't know what you're signing. They're not going to total your car because, well, that isn't in their best interest. They're not going to fight for you to get your medical bills. They're not going to care about how much work time you missed. No, you need somebody who is, experienced. You need somebody that understands how insurance companies work, who can tell you, hey, you've been injured in a car accident. Your car is totaled. We're going to fight for you. Let us take all of this burden. Let us take all of that unknown off your plate while you get healthy and back to the best version of yourself. Don't trust your insurance company. Trust the Advocate. Years of experience working in your communities, good people to do business with. That's why you don't pay the Advocates unless and until they win your case at theadvocates.com. Shout outs to start the show this morning. Mike Smith says it's tearing it all down Tuesday. Hit that like button. Please do hit the like button. I'm terrible at my job. I just ask any Utah Jazz fan. I am uninformed. I don't watch Jazz basketball. Games. And I never ask you to hit the like button. And I should. Please do right now hit the like button. Real Pete Forte, good morning. Who's excited about the pro rata we deserve? Or no, I'm sorry, about the Sign Stealer Guy documentary. Yeah, am I the only one who just doesn't give a rat's ass about this documentary? I know that everybody is excited about it, and I know that everybody's talking about it. I'm trying to be excited about it. I'm really not. I'm not. Am I crazy about that?
I don't think you're crazy about it. I think that, the sign stealer guy, aura or character or like,
Aura?
this whole concept of, hey, like Michigan had this dude who would go around an advanced scout and, break the rules. Like, let's put a documentary out on it. I think millions of people will watch it. I think
I am certain that millions of people will in fact watch it. I have very little doubt that millions of people will watch it. I will not probably be one of the millions of people until it's out for several weeks or a month. I'm not a fan of Michigan football. I'm a Notre Dame fan. So go ahead and fuck off. I am not this is such a clear-cut case to me, this Michigan sign stealing thing.
Yeah.
And I feel very, very passionately that two things need to happen here. We need to stop talking about vacating wins. The NCAA, as I've told you on this show 1,000 times, is never going to vacate a national championship ever again. We have, and I know we've roundly debated this, and I've been told I'm stupid, and I get it. You're smarter than me. They're not going to vacate championships. I would be shocked if the NCAA vacated Michigan's championship. It's just not possible. It's not, in my opinion, it's not going to happen. Are they going to cripple Michigan football? I think they are. Are they going to drop show cause notices on a bunch of bros? They are. Are they going to take scholaries? Are they going to ground your private jets? They are. Are they going to ban you from the college football playoff for multiple seasons? They are. They're gonna cripple Michigan. There's no doubt about that. They're not going to take away that championship.
And I think that's what a lot of people want, obviously. I think a lot of people feel like it's, just to take the national championship away. And I think the hard part is that even with the sign stealing situation, Michigan didn't have the advanced scout on teams in the college football playoff that they would have played in that timeline, if you think about it, because they didn't know who they were going to play at that point. So I mean, it's tough for the NCAA to sit there and say, yeah, we're gonna take away your national championship because of something that you did that had huge implications in the regular season, obviously. And I think that people, I mean, as much as I am not a Michigan fan, as much as I do think it would be justice to, theoretically take away a national championship, you're not going to do that. You're going to hurt them moving forward. And I think this is the conversation we had all those months ago when the sign stealing thing happened and Michigan won a national championship. And everybody and their mom wanted to come out and say, I told you so, and we're the best, and, us against the world. And then what happened? Exactly what we said would happen. Jim left, all your boys left for the NFL, and now the school is left to clean up the mess. And I think that's the hard part for me is I'm not a Michigan fan, but I look at Michigan fan right now, and I say, you have no idea what's coming down the pipe for you, because ultimately the NCAA has to send a message on this. You have to have certainly reform, but also discipline, and you got to pay a price. And I think that, Michigan doesn't want to do that. Michigan feels like they're going to get this penalty, they're going to appeal it, and then the appeal's not going to be handled till, 2 years down the line. Like, it's this whole long drawn out process, when in reality, they just need to pay their penalty, and we need to move on from this. And to sit here and create more drama around it, I feel like is what the OG classic college football fan wants to do.
So we got news yesterday from MLive and several Michigan blog sites that the NCAA is going to drop a notice of allegations around sign stealer guy up at Michigan.
Sign stealer guy.
That is coming soon, and a lot of people expect it to be within a week. And it is the kickoff to the disciplinary process. Now, let's get a couple of things straight here. This will not be, adjudicated. This will not come to an end probably for at least another year. Michigan, by all accounts, is going to sue no matter what the penalty is, because, of course, we don't want rules applied to us. We only like the rules when they're applied to Ohio State. I think we are far from an end here. But what a notice of allegations means is that the NCAA has very clearly wrapped up its investigation into the sign stealing scandal. It means that the NCAA is going to now move forward into the penalty phase, the investigation that is required into the penalty phase. And I think what you're going to see is that by the close of 2024, we will have a lot more clarity here. The problem, of course, is that the NCAA takes forever to hand out punishment. And I think one of the things when we talk about, hey, are we going to, remove national championships, or you're not vacating anything, because number one, Jim Harbaugh is never coaching in college football again. That much will be very clear when this is over, because I do believe he is going to get a 10-year show cause notice. Which would effectively end his college coaching career. But the real question is, what about guys like Sharon Moore, the head coach of Michigan now, who very clearly was one of the top supervisors, if you will, of the coaching staff, as the number 2 to Jim Harbaugh. Sherrone Moore had to have knowledge and vision. And again, this goes back to that discussion we've had so many times on this show about the fact that whether you knew or not, you're guilty. Oh, you knew? Okay, you're guilty. Oh, you didn't know? That means you're derelict in your duty and you're guilty. That's the way the NCAA looks at these situations. So I think if I'm Sherrone Moore, I think there are going to be some financial penalties paid. I think that it is very difficult to compete as one of the top programs in the country if you do not qualify for postseason play. And if you are even given a 2-year, which would be the minimum suspected penalty, if you are given a 2-year postseason ban for Michigan football, it's absolutely debilitating. And if you do some math here and you think forward, well, what would a timeline be for a potential punishment? If that is 18 months from now, you're talking about the middle of October 2025. The college football landscape is going to be completely different at that point. So if you drop a 2-year postseason ban on Michigan, let's say by the end of this calendar year, Michigan sues, you wind up going through a court process that is probably from right now at least 18 months. Now you're talking about like potential Super League implications. I don't know that it behooves Michigan to fight these penalties. If I were Michigan, and I guess this is where the rubber meets the road, if I were Michigan, I would fall on the sword and say, yeah, Jim Harbaugh was a shitbag who lied to you. And that's why, well, you can't really say that's why we fired him and you begged him to stay and offered him the biggest contract in the history of college football coaches. Other than that, I mean, you know, my point is it's going to be awfully difficult for you to say, hey, you know what? We had no idea what was going on. And that's why Jim Harbaugh is not the coach here anymore.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's going to be a really tough look for them.
It is.
I think that Michigan, look, I almost feel like it's one of those situations where I kind of just want Michigan to be like, yeah, we did this. And you know what? Like, it was illegal, but we did it and we won a national championship. And it is what it is. Now, obviously, they're not going to come out and say that. They're going to do what they did last time around, which is, you know, the punishment and the verdict and all this will come down, and then they'll appeal it, and they'll hem and haw just the same way they did before, and then they'll get to their court date, and they'll do whatever they're going to do. But the reality of the situation is you're not going to get away from this one. There's too much here. It's too widespread. This isn't like an isolated incident. This is like a season of, hey, we're going to break rules as a matter of culture in this program. We're going to...
As a matter of doing business, we are going to break rules.
Yeah, like it's just what we do, and we're fine with it because I'm Jim Harbaugh, and I know either way I'm going to leave for the NFL after this season. And I think that is the hard part, and I hope that other institutions learn from this. Like, if you're someone, like if Ohio State, good example, for all the people who say, oh, fire Ryan Day. Cool. If you're going to fire Ryan Day, who are you going to go and get that's going to run the program as up, top notch as he does? That's the problem in college football. There's not like a bunch of great coaches falling off trees. So I look at Michigan and I say, dude, like, you sold yourself to the devil. You knew who this guy was. You knew what he was, capable of doing. Yeah. And you knew that he wasn't going to be there for 20 years. He wasn't going to be some legacy coach at Michigan. And Michigan fans going to tell you, oh, well, he won a national championship and he's everybody's All-American. Well, we'll see how that opinion changes once the discipline comes down, because you're going to pay that price.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Michigan fan reacts. My guess is your garden variety Michigan fan is going to say, oh, it was all worth it. And I don't know that it was all worth it. I think if you are Michigan and you are, you're trying to paint yourself as this prestigious institution. Can you say that anymore when you're president and you're athletic director? And I mean, you look at, forget football. Look at all the bullshit you went through with Juwan Howard.
Yeah.
Look at the Michigan basketball program. You look at the culture of sports in Ann Arbor. There is something very wrong. There is, in my opinion, there is a need for systematic change. And I don't know that any NCAA penalty is going to bring that. But we can sit here and we can talk about, oh, Michigan won the national championship and Free Harbaugh was a Heisman Trophy winner, and
Just a
my God,
stalwartness.
we can live in a fantasy land. We do that often in this country, as we're going to talk about in about 90 minutes. We live in a fantasy land in this country. We routinely, as a matter of practice now, like rules as long as they're not applied to us. But at some point, you have to understand this national championship is tarnished forever. You can look at your cute little rings, and absolutely, you're a national champion and that won't change. But if you believe that people are going to pat you on the back and say, hey, congratulations on that national championship, man.
You guys are the best.
Wow, you're wrong. And if you believe that your integrity is intact, you're wrong. And I wonder, how much does that matter to the University of Michigan? Because fan bases and fandom are detached. I don't think they give a rat's ass about what Ohio State fan thinks of them. I don't think it matters in the least that Michigan fan and Michigan itself does not realize they're a laughingstock of college sports. I mean, you quite literally are a university with no integrity, with no ethics, who cheated to win because you couldn't beat Ohio State.
Yeah.
Is that the reality of it? Yeah, I think it probably is. I think Jim Harbaugh, in my opinion, started the sign stealing operation, and I believe he was fully aware. I think Jim Harbaugh is too much of a control freak. He is too good of a head coach. He is too competitive to have a guy like Connor Stallions walk in and do some sign stealing bullshit on his own.
Well, and I think that the hard part is when you look at the Central Michigan situation, like you have a dynamic where this cat's wearing their apparel, dude. Like it's not like he was standing on the sideline in Michigan apparel. And that, to me, when that first came out and we first talked about that, like, it was always pretty clear that conversations were had, and I am sure a handshake deal of some variety was made to have Connor Stallions on the sideline when they played Michigan State. And to me, it's like, you're sitting here listening to dudes like Jim McElwain, the head coach at Central Michigan, talk about how he had no idea, and man, we're doing everything we can do to fix the problem. And it's like, dude, let's just be real. Jim probably called you and said, hey, bud, we need to go ahead and do this. And yeah, it's illegal, but you're not going to get in trouble. It'll come back on me. I'll handle it. You have them come after me. I'll handle it. And here's what you're getting in return.
Yeah.
I don't know what that would have been, but that's the type of stuff we're talking about here. I mean, we're talking about Jim going around and making deals with folks to get dude on the sideline or into the stadium. And that's the hard part, is that you are just cheating everybody. I don't even care that he was like, yeah, wow, we need to do this so that we can make sure we beat Ohio State, or so we can make sure that, we go undefeated or have the best chance. I don't care about that. If your ethics are that low, fine. The problem I have is you're cheating everybody else on the football field who's doing it authentically and genuinely. That's the issue here.
Yeah, it was a not so well kept secret that Michigan was doing that, and teams knew. Here nor there. I guess what it comes down to for me is that I think my guess is they're going to get a minimum of a 2-year postseason ban. That in itself is absolutely destructive to your recruiting process. I think you're going to take a 25% write down on scholarships. I think Jim Harbaugh is going to be pretty much exiled from college coaching. I think he will get a 10-year show cause order. And I think that I think Michigan's going to suffer here for probably 5 years minimum, at a minimum. And I feel bad for the kids who are there and who will suffer for this? I don't. We all make decisions in life. I think the coaching staff that's there now, you were part of it. I think the administration, you were part of it. Ward Manuel, you were part of it. And I don't know what the right thing to do is, but I do know that you're going to take a pretty significant beating here. And Michigan fan will be in the comment section saying, yep, it's all worth it. Is it worth it?
That's the hard part, because you can make a real strong case that you're not even getting to the national championship game itself. Hell, you're not even getting to the Alabama game without, the advantage you had in the regular season. Now, again, I'm still going to tell you they beat those teams straight up. Those were absolutely victories.
Well, the truth is Michigan was the best football team in the country. They were the most talented team in the trenches. Like, that's the real tragedy. And we've talked about this on the show before.
Yeah.
They were actually really good. They were very good. Very, very good. You didn't need to steal signs. I would assume once October hit and sign stealer guy was outed, I would assume most people changed their signs, and they still beat your ass, Ohio State.
Yeah.
So, and if it was this open secret that they were stealing signs, if they stole your signs and leveraged you because of it, which very clearly in a lot of situations they did, that was on you. Michigan was a very good football team, and nobody will ever talk about that. They will talk about the fact that they only won games because they knew what the other team was doing. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
They knew what was coming from the other sideline. It's as simple as that. All right, let's get into the comment section. As always, presented by Prize Picks, prizepicks.com. A great new promotion rolled out by Prize Picks. Now, we've told you for years that Prize Picks gives you 100% deposit matching when you use the promo code Monty. The game at Prize Picks has changed, and you're better for it. Prize Picks now is, as of this moment, giving their best influencers, hello, the opportunity to give you $50 right into your account the minute you open a new account and make a $5 deposit. When you do that, use the promo code Monty. Use the link in the description below. When you use the promo code Monty, you make a $5 deposit. They will give you $50 into your Prize Picks account. Done. That's it. That's the whole promotion. It is simple. It is easy. I think it is the best daily fantasy promotion we have ever seen. Ever. And I tell you every day, Prize Picks is spectacular. It's why it's the #1 daily fantasy app in the world. It's why you see so many people who get to Prize Picks and they're like, oh man, this is way better than that other app I was using, because it very simply is, hey, baseball. I love, in my opinion, one of my favorite stats is total bases. I love it. How many times did, 3? Aaron Judge, if he hits a home run, gets 4 total bases. So you're going to be asked 2.5. On a guy like Aaron Judge, usually it's 2.5 total bases. More or less. That's it. That's all. Did he hit the ball and run to second? That's only 2. So he's got to get a base hit to get to 3, more or less. It's so simple. In golf, how many birdies is Justin Spieth going to have? How many fairways is Tony Finau going to hit? 10, more or less. It's that simple. And now you deposit $5 in a new account at Prize Picks, they're going to give you $50. Download the app, use the promo code Monty. Just get the link in the description below. Play Prize Picks because it's so much fun. DM me, and I might see it. DM me your Prize Picks lineups. Let's play together. I would love to see it. Or tweet at me and tag me. Or, wow, Coco Gauff is out of the Olympics. Wow, loses in straight sets.
Jeez.
Tag me on Twitter. I'm more likely to see it if you tag me, but not a hundo P.
Yeah.
So tag me. Let's play Prize Picks together, America's favorite daily fantasy app. Now giving you $50 when you open a new account and make a $5 deposit. PrizePicks.com. Download the app. Use the promo code Monty. All right, talking Michigan football. Who is in? Matt Ritson, first one in today, gives us $5. Michigan just upgraded new locker room with a bowling alley, pool table, and a barber shop after they won the national championship. I saw that. Michigan football tweeted out a bunch of pictures. Their locker room's beautiful. I mean, their new renovation's great. Did they do that because they won a national championship? My guess is it was in the works far before that.
Yeah.
Because that takes a lot of donor money and planning. But yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, Mike Smith, you knew. KNEW knew.
Okay.
Bad as it was, still nowhere as bad as Pedo State. Not at all.
Agreed.
And I think I told this story in the past. I was on Cairo Radio in Seattle when the Pedo State Sandusky stuff hit. And I still maintain today that Pedo State should not play football ever again. I think Joe Paterno's a disgrace. I think what Jerry Sandusky and Joe Paterno did to young men at Penn State, they should never have been allowed to play another football game. I don't respect Penn State. I don't think Penn State is an institution of ethics or higher learning. I think it's a place where pedophiles go to hide. And I know I've said that 1,000 times, and I will never come off of that. I do not believe that Penn State should ever have played another football game. Ever. It's not in question, in my opinion, what happened there.
Yeah.
There should be no Paterno statues. There should be no all-time wins guy. Joe Paterno should be wiped from every record book in college football at Penn State, in the Big Ten. Doesn't fucking matter. Joe Paterno is a disgrace to men. He's not a disgrace to football coaches. Joe Paterno is a disgrace to men. Period.
Yeah, he's got statues, and he's still well in the memory books.
I think he probably will for a long time. Phil Venzer, 5 a.m. in the morning. Who wakes up at this hour? Well, I've been up for 2 hours and 28 minutes.
Yeah.
I was up at 3:59 this morning. Slept great last night. Phenomenal. Made one little tweak. I am taking my, you guys know I take a lot of vitamins.
Right.
I'm taking my nighttime vitamins at lunch now, and it's making a huge difference.
Oh, interesting.
It is. And nutritionally, I had a chicken salad for dinner last night. As I told you, I would. Mrs. Monty made a bunch of chicken breast in the slow cooker this weekend. Had a great chicken salad last night. I'm telling you, we talked about favorite fast food.
Yeah.
Stop. First of all, with all due respect to the 10 people, I don't know what was in the water yesterday. I'm not going out to eat fast food with you. I'm not.
With all due respect.
I'm not. I must have gotten, I think it's probably 6 or 7, not 10. I got 6 or 7 invitations.
Well, Marty, come to Culver's. We'll have you.
And my guy, Kyle, Kyle's a longtime listener of the show. I'm not going to call him out by name. My guy, Kyle, is begging me to give Chick-fil-A another chance. And he's like, I will pay. I will come down. He lives up in Bountiful. It's like, I will come down to South Jordan. I will buy you Chick-fil-A. What's your schedule look like Thursday at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon?
Monty?
Like our great Floridian, Maury Alvarez. Maury Alvarez is like, I'm going to take you out to lunch at Culver's this week. I'm like, I'm not doing it. Via 313 Pizza or whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
This cat's like, it's not fast food, but it's really good. Let's have dinner.
Garbage.
No, the answer is not no. It's fuck no. I'm not. You got it's, and this is the thing that is amazing to me. That food is so bad for you. I enjoy talking about fast food.
Right.
I have said this 100 times. My favorite fast food is breakfast. Done. That's the fast food I eat. This past Saturday or this past Sunday, when certain people who don't communicate at all have you sitting in front of your house for 15 minutes waiting for them while they're driving miles away from you, so you don't get breakfast. So you have to stop at McDonald's and get
Yummy.
and get an egg and cheese McMuffin. It was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. But that's the extent of it. And what did I have for lunch yesterday? I had chicken breast and roasted potatoes. And it was so much better than any fast food you're ever going to get.
Yeah.
And I appreciate one of our biggest name, longtime listeners being like, hey, let's meet at Super Chicks this week. I'm not going to Super Chicks right now. I'm not doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And one other fast food thing. This gal, who I've never heard of before and probably will never hear of again, especially now that I'm going to talk about her. This gal, Amy, who lives in Texas, wants to send me Whataburger in the mail. I don't want fast food in the mail.
Bro, the burger's not going to be hot anymore by the time we get it, all right?
But I will say we need to at some point come down to Baytown, Texas and go to Buc-ee's. Because I said that, I don't know when I said that, but I said that we would come down to Baytown, Texas.
Yeah, it was like 2-3 weeks ago.
And go to Buc-ee's. I probably need to keep my promise on that. And because we have Texas is a massive market for us, from SMU, Dallas to Tarrant County, Jarrah, down to Houston. We love all of our San Antonians. Like, you guys are great. We probably should pick a spot in the middle and meet you at a Buc-ee's. Whether it's Baytown's nowhere near the middle of Texas, but we should probably meet in the middle somewhere.
Right.
And at Oak State, James will be, oh, Monty, let me get Preston Stone's cock, and we'll ride it all the way to Buc-ee's, and we'll meet you there.
His cock.
Oak State James is probably the ringleader of that. I would have, now that, Boss Frog is no longer on the show.
Yeah, he's deserted.
Tanner pissed him off something serious.
Yeah.
All of our great Texans, I'm happy to do it when it's cool.
James, when's the last time you were at Buc-ee's, bro? Like literally yesterday or?
Yeah, exactly. Mike Smith says only the perverts get up this early. Calford says morning, Monty. James says happy Taco Tuesday.
Yeah.
I was watching a podcast yesterday. My guy Huberman Labs talking about how bad tacos actually are for you. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Don't tell me tacos are bad. Dude,
what do you mean tacos are bad for you? It's taco meat, turkey, lettuce, tomatoes, little cheese, tortilla. Like, come on.
I am a huge fan of tacos. Tacos, yes. Jay Chapman, they're going to force the Wolverines to use generic toilet paper in their brand new locker room.
Yeah.
Oak State James, the Michigan fan is like The Rock, smiling and happy, then the Undertaker bell goes off. Exactly. LFG's like number 18. Appreciate that. Welcome to the nightmare. Similar as far as overall fault with Pedo State and the staff knowing what was going on. Michigan staffers knew and followed suit with what Coach Kakis was doing.
I would agree.
But you look at the Michigan State Nassar situation. You look at Jim Jordan at Ohio State and the allegations against Jim Jordan. Like, this is the thing that's amazing to me is these are not one-off situations. When there is cheating and scandal, and obviously stealing signs is different than being Sandusky'd, to be polite and not use heinous terminology.
100% it's different.
It's different. What happened with Nassar at Michigan State is different. What happened at the car wash at Northwestern is different. But our reaction to it is not. We want to minimize it all. If you're a Penn State football fan, there's no minimizing what Joe Paterno did. There's not.
Worst of the worst.
The fact that you still support that pedophile factory is disgusting to me.
Yeah, well, and I feel like there's never going to be a time where the NCAA has, frankly, the balls to say, hey, like, this is so bad that we're going to go ahead and we need to shut it down. You're not playing football anymore. Like, you're not, and it's a shame because I do feel like when that came out, like, there were a lot of people who were like, yeah, this is probably a situation where like this whole athletic department and like this program and everything needs to be shut down. You can't. And again, maybe this is a conversation for a different day, but I feel like it's seemingly once or twice a year in collegiate athletics where we get like major scandal at this or that university.
Right.
And that's got to be put to bed, man. And the only way you're going to do that is by levying heavy punishment against those involved. And at some point, there needs to be some type of punishment that would include that sport going away from your school, because that's the only way we deter human beings from doing things. Hey, if you're going to do X, Y is going to happen, and sometimes Y can be we gotta go ahead and take away your chances and opportunities.
Swoosh 2K says La Taco. We had gone several shows. You prick. We had gone several shows, Swoosh, without the La Cap, La Hairline,
La
Grandpa, La Taco Tuesday. We had gone several shows.
Now La Captain America.
Without that bullshit. And now La Taco is back. Come on, man. La Taco. Severe, good morning to you, my friend. Learn how to cook, people. You can make way tastier stuff and you'll feel better.
Yeah.
Totally agree. And listen, I'm here for one of my favorite things is the Friday morning tradition of Beto's breakfast burritos. They're terrible for you. They're 1,100 calories of sodium. They're terrible for you, right? James, I eat salad for lunch so I can eat out for dinner. Okay. Giggity. How about some red iguana in a few weeks?
Yeah, I would need to hear this whole tacos are not good for you situation.
What it is, red iguana is amazing.
Yeah.
The facts are hard to dispute. When you put rice, beans, and it depends on how refried beans specifically.
Yeah.
Because they're terrible for you. Most good Mexican refried beans are cut with lard. So if you put a huge burrito taco shell, which I think is 400 calories minimum, you put refried beans, you put a chopped up chicken breast or processed sausage in there, a ton of sodium, you're not putting good things into your body. You don't need to have. I quite literally think the Beto's breakfast burrito I think it's pushing 1,500 calories.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need 1,500 calories in 10 minutes for breakfast. You don't. And as far as tacos go, I'm a huge fan of whitefish now. My wife is not nice to me.
Honey.
She makes me eat healthy food. So we've been cooking, cod, and I really like it. We have a smoker, and she smoked cod a couple of weekends ago. It was amazing. And you put that on a small tortilla shell, I'm eating that. You put that with, you chop up some fresh tomato. Again, yesterday, I had roasted potatoes, roasted carrots, chicken breast, and half of an avocado.
Oh, yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah, that's good food.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, and I also think, before we move on, tacos don't have to be unhealthy. We just make them unhealthy. If you were to do, low-fat ground turkey with the seasoning, black beans, some veg, you're fine. But it's when you do the lard and, you do all this stuff that we add that messes it up.
And, oh, by the way, then you sit in an office chair all day.
Oh, yeah.
And,
right?
It's tough, dude. It's tough. OG Gary, all cap tacos are best for you. I agree. All cap. Now we're into this fucking bullshit. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Slap, bro.
Swoosh, I will never forgive you for this. Swoosh, I will never forgive. Oh, dude, it's La Taco, La Cap. No, come on.
La Crunch Wrap Supreme, man. Come on.
James, October 19th, Georgia at Texas. You two should try to go to that game. Maybe we'll make that happen. I would prefer to be in Austin than Houston. Houston's way down there, with all due respect, because I know we have a lot of Houstonians who listen. Mike Smith, you know why we always say that the NCAA should do this or that? What about the teams' conferences? Do they ever really do anything to school like Penn State or Michigan State? They don't. And look what happens when the Big Ten tried. Oh, we're going to go to court because we don't like the rules. We're litigious. It's what we do.
Yeah, and it's not gonna help Tony Petitti's reputation in the conference, right? I mean, because that's the underbelly of the whole situation. I mean, obviously, Tony Petitti and his office have to levy some type of punishment. They have to, create some type of process because you can't just do nothing. But I also think that you want your head coaches and you want your school officials to be able to feel comfortable enough to come to you and say, hey, we have an issue. How can we best go about this without blowing up our entire season?
Yes, I would agree with that. LFG, it's not funny. It's not funny. And telling him it's funny is LeCap. Midweek Coug, sounds like Big Ten needs to go away. How many scandals does it take?
For real,
Have
though.
you guys ever thought about that? Look at the list of Big Ten sex scandals. Just sexually scandals involving sex. The list is enormous. Then you look at recruiting scandals, cheating scandals. Ohio State, how dare they get free tattoos? Terrell Pryor. Like, do you guys remember like all of the Jim Tressel Ohio State years? And then you add Jim Harbaugh, and then you like all of the scandals across this conference. It is wild to me. And that a university like Michigan feels like it needs to steal signs to win games, while your basketball program is the equivalent of the worst wildfire we've ever seen in this country. It's blazing so poorly.
Yeah.
Like, it is unbelievable how bad the Michigan basketball program is. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then you win a national championship in football, and it's forever scarred. It's terrible. San Diego State Glenn, speaking of the pro rata Michigan deserves. No surprise here, Monty. Keep the $50 credit from Prize Picks. I don't get no $50 credit. I wish I got paid. But I'm with you on Michigan, Penn State, and Paterno. It's terrible to me. It truly is. Penn State really bothers me. It will forever bother me. I'm 52. That was arguably the biggest college football story of my life, is the Penn State sex scandal. And the absolute hilarity of those that are whitewashing a pedophile so that Joe Paterno can keep wins. Let that sink in.
That's a terrible look, dude.
Those kids, they'll be fine. They're adults now. Come on, man. OG Gary, Corn Street taco tortillas, chicken pico and salsa. That's mad healthy. Depends on what it depends on how are you cooking the chicken. How much sodium is in the pico and salsa?
I mean, I don't think that it's not that I think. I know that Huberman's not saying, generally speaking, every single taco is bad for you. That's not the point.
Not anything is bad for you.
Yeah.
But if you are going to, what's your Jack in the Box tacos? I love Jack in the Box tacos. They're greasy, fried, terrible.
Garbage for you.
Inflammation, terrible for you.
It's garbage.
It's not good on any level. Mrs. Monty and I were talking about pasta. I love pasta. Pasta is not good for you. There is, especially, and it depends on, even whole wheat pasta is not great for you. You look at the research and what we know about what pasta does, the inflammation that you get from eating pasta, the inflammation you get from things like, I love fucking French fries. I love French fries.
Yeah.
Arguably my favorite food is French fries. I love Doritos. Why do I never eat Doritos? Pretty much the only chip I ever eat is a tortilla chip, and I really try not to eat that many of those because it causes inflammation. And so when you take in a bunch of sodium and you stack carbs, and really where you get in trouble is when you combine carbs and sugar together, that's where you're just in fuck soup. You're going to have a lot of trouble with that. And I'm just telling you, man, it's all about how you cook it. If you just have especially like what did you say? A Corn Street taco.
Yeah.
A small tortilla. If you just throw some chicken in a Instapot, like my chicken in an Instapot is vegetable broth, chicken breast, and light seasoning. So low sodium, but really high flavor. If you chop that chicken, You put some fresh tomato on top of there, pick your favorite salsa. That taco's not going to kill you.
Yeah.
The problem is that's not generally what we do in this country.
Yeah.
Notice what I didn't put on that taco. I didn't put cheese. I'm not putting queso. Do you know that one of my single favorite things ever in Mexican food culture is queso? And it's terrible for you.
Nothing like chips and queso with some margs, man.
The awkward guy, Monty, I'm bulking right now. Well,
dude, we're all svelte, dude. You don't have to lie to yourself.
I'm bulking right now.
Come on,
I've been bulking for a decade.
Yeah.
Do you even live?
That's why I can't eat those calories. I can't eat those calories. The question now is when I start cutting. So far, it's been 2 years straight of bulking. You know this. You know the sad thing. One of the things we're going to talk about today is Ozempic.
Yeah.
Do you guys understand now that we want to be thin, but we want to eat? So we'll do things like semaglutides, which is what Ozempic or Wegovy is. It's the name of the drug.
Yeah.
And now we're finding out that Ozempic and the glutides are actually not bad for you. You can't stay on them in the long term, right? You can't, because at some point you're going to run out of runway.
Yeah.
But we're actually finding out that Ozempic and semaglutides, like Ozempic, are really good for your brain in a short form study. There's now a 3-year study going on about the impact that Ozempic has on Alzheimer's, and it's supposedly really good. But that's not what we're going to use Ozempic for. And I just look at Oprah Winfrey, lost a ton of weight. Like, have you seen Oprah lately? Dude, she looks really good. So I'm going to accuse her of being on Ozempic. Because that's who we are now.
You know who the guy in sports is.
Yeah.
Brian Daboll.
Brian Daboll, head coach of the Giants. Thank you. He says that he did it with Pilates.
Yeah.
Dude, he's got to have lost 50, 60 pounds.
Yeah.
He does not look like the same guy. Yeah, truly, he doesn't look like the same guy. Dude, he had to use Ozempic, right?
I mean, to use Ozempic. Dude, to drop 50 or 60 in,
had to use Ozempic.
Like 7 months. I mean, bro, like if you do the math on that in let's just call it 7 months. Dude, if you're going to drop 50 pounds in 7 months, that's like, what is that? 8 pounds a month you're dropping at that point? Like, I mean, you're talking about, do you understand how disciplined you have to be to lose 2 pounds a week? Like,
do you know how difficult it is? As somebody who's lost significant weight in my life, do you know how difficult 2 pounds a week is? And people will tell you, well, hey, man, you're going to lose 10 pounds. Well, that was water weight. Okay, great. That's still 10 pounds less, and I'm hanging out on my ankles and knees and hips.
By the way,
right?
I would point out, and I do think it's a fair argument for dudes like Brian Daboll in professional sports. He has the time to put into his body, and he has all the resources that you could ever want.
So Daboll said that he was going to Pilates. His wife's best friend owns a Pilates studio. They had a party, and fat ass Daboll was like, hey, I want to try this. She was like, all right, cool. He started going to Pilates. I think he said 4 days a week at 5 a.m. And he said the first 2 weeks were miserable. He thought every day, I don't want to go. I'm not going to go. I'm not going. I'm not. And then he just made himself go. And he said, then it just became what I did, which is absolutely true.
Yeah.
So I find it fascinating that Brian Daboll lost all that weight. I also think he's using Ozempic or another semaglutide, in my opinion.
Yeah, the thing that stands out to me when you look at Daboll, if he had like no Ozempic, just straight up with Pilates, I don't think the body conversion that he's gone through would have happened as fast. You're talking about doing a movement that does require strength, and if you're out of shape, will get your heart rate up big time. But you can't tell me that this dude just cut all that weight just doing Pilates. Like, you would have had to do the Pilates, do some cardio at night to create the deficit, and then be like razor locked on diet. So I'm not even trying to discount or like hate on the guy for using it. What I don't like is that people are like, oh, hey, I did this natty, but don't mind me over here at night doing Ozempic. Like, just say, hey, yeah, you know what I did? I knew I needed to lose weight. So what did I do? I tried something new. I pushed myself through it. And now it's what I do. But I also used Ozempic because I wanted to streamline that process a little bit.
And the thing that still sticks in my craw about Ozempic, you're talking about a drug that diabetics desperately need. It's not optional. And all we've done with Ozempic, because why would we want to control, pharmaceutical costs in this country? All we've done is drive the price up. It's already thousands of dollars a month. I don't know how many people Wegovy, the generic, essentially, version of Ozempic, is thousands of dollars a month. I don't even know the number currently on Ozempic.
Well, what was it when because you had one conversation with your doctor?
Yeah, last year my doctor. So I get my physical Thursday, by the way.
Yeah.
But my doctor, every year says to me, hey, man, you're in great health. You might want to lose some weight, fat ass. Quite literally, that's our conversation. Hey, your blood work is great. This is great. They're great. You're sleeping great. You're right. And he always says to me, but what are you doing to reduce your body weight? And he said, I would highly recommend Wegovy for you. And he said, here are the problems. And he straight up told me, here are the problems with it. It's going to take weight off of you, but when you get off of it, you generally gain back 35 to 40% of that weight.
Damn.
And now they're figuring out ways to offset that. But we were looking at it, and it's just so fucking expensive.
Yeah, I think you had said at that time it was like $1,500 a month.
Yeah, it was like $1,500 a month.
Yeah.
And that's unending. Like, that's $1,500 a month into the stratosphere. Like, you have no idea how long you're going to use it. I'm not papered up like that. I'm not that guy. I'm not willing to spend $15,000 a minimum a year that your insurance does not cover. I'm not doing that.
It's wild, bro.
I'm not doing that. And it's what I always talk about with my doctor. I need to be more active, and I need to cut out sodium and fast food. And what do you know? I'm more active. I've cut out sodium and fast food, and I'm thinning out. It takes longer, but there you go. Jeremiah Champion, La Swoosh. Thank you. Matt Ritson, worst tacos is Jack in the Box. It's greasy food, but
my God, dude.
It is so good. James, Lamonti is mad because we have gone French because of the Olympics. Then tomorrow they show up with croissant and wearing berets. Did you guys see the guy? I saw it on TikTok, just getting his ass handed to him because he said he's a French guy who's tired of Americans trying to pronounce croissant. And he's like, it's not croissant, it's croissant. And I just want to say, first of all, shut the fuck up. Second of all, I'm not walking into Harmon's and saying, hey, good to see you, Susan. Can I get a bag of croissant? I'm not fucking doing it. It drives me crazy that I have to watch Sports Center and they'll be like talking regular, normal, and I can't think of somebody's name. But
Micah Parsons is having a hell of a season, and
but they'll go into a sentence like, let's use Camilo Villegas, and he's playing great golf, and then Camilo Villegas, he's struggling. It's like, wait, what did you say? No, I was just talking about the great golf that Camilo Villegas is playing right now, and it's
shut the fuck up, Tommy.
There's nothing worse than trying to be somebody you're not. It's croissant. You know why?
My God.
You know why? Because I fucking said so.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
And I don't speak French. Croissant. Hey, yeah, I'd like an egg McMuffin. Can you put that on a croissant, please? No, go fuck yourself is what they should say.
La baguette.
Croissant.
Dude.
I'm not doing it. I'm not.
What are we doing?
Yeah, what are we doing? I'm not doing it.
Oh my
I
goodness,
say
that's
croissant
great.
because that's how we talk. Croissant.
You know, in
Croissant.
English-
Fuck off. Listen, if you're in Paris, and here's the other thing. As asshole Americans, here's what we do. We'll go to Paris and we'll be like, Viva la France, bitch!
We show up.
And we'll be there and we'll have on all our American stuff and we'll be like, oh man, yeah, hey Pierre, yeah, what I'd like here is can I get an espresso? Can I get an espresso? And then, I'm kind of hungry. So, hey man, can I get a croissant, please, bruh? And then you'll be like, croissant, bro. Hey man, can I get a croissant, bro? I hope that guy defecates in the middle. Here's a chocolate croissant, and I hope it's his butthole. Like, screw you. That's probably too much.
Janus.
Probably too much. But you know.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how much you want to correct us on pronunciations when you need us to save your ass again in the next war. We'll see how that goes for you.
No, we've gone too far. Calford, Ozempic is cheaper than Wegovy. There you go. Is it really? OG Gary. Or groundbreaking idea, diet and exercise. Mind-blowing,
Dude,
right?
Just incredible.
And listen, there are some people, diet and exercise is not going to cut weight or fat. Or I, knock on wood, feel very fortunate that when I exercise and I eat well and I swing my golf club more, I lose a pound a week every single week. Every single week. Then I go to Hawaii and I don't lose a pound a week. And then I come back and I eat well and we cook at home together and I swing my golf club and I lose a pound a week. Not many people are that fortunate. So, I'm just, yeah. Field Crew Dirt Dr. Cheese. Well, hello. Good to see you. Urban's natty at Florida was more scandalous than the one at the. Well, I mean, at Ohio State,
documentary flopped.
But at Florida, I mean, you were murdering people. At Ohio State, you were just punching women in the face.
Sorry if you're offended by that.
I mean, who hasn't? Let me see. Domestic violence, murder. Domestic violence and murder. Terrorist or threat.
I'm for real. I'm for real.
Using my wife to cover up a domestic violence scandal.
Yeah.
Some shit happened.
I'm going to side with Chris Rainey and Aaron Hernandez. They're the real shitbags here. Congratulations, Florida. You win again. Yeah. Let's see. Lopes fan Gabe. Hello. Combining 14 to 1,500 calorie a day diet and regular physical activity could easily drop the numbers Dayball is pushing for some people. No Ozempic needed. Done it myself. I don't know. And listen, this is just me. If I look at a football coach and Brian Dayball says he lifts weights and routinely cardio trains as well, a guy of Dayball's size cannot eat 1,500 calories a day and thrive. I don't know how you do that. I'm almost 6'4", 300 pounds. If you said to me, hey, how about 1,500 calories? I would punch you in the face in anger. I try to stay under 2,000 calories. That 500 calories between 1,500 and 2,000 is massive for me. I have no idea. And I think one of the things that's interesting about this is you're not going to win the weight loss battle on willpower. You're just not. And I think when you're at 14 to 1,500 calories, I just don't. And it's all size dependent, right? My wife is at 1,200 calories and struggles to stay under that. It's all size dependent. We're all individual, unique machines. Yeah. I cannot do. There is no way that I could stay under 1,500 calories. Bro, I don't know how I would ever even.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think 1,500 is too little. It's 18 to 2.
For me, it's not doable. I don't know.
But like you look at. I just want people to look at these pictures of Dayball. and you see the contrast in this dude's body. Like,
it's tough to think.
Like, it's dramatic. Like, look at his size here. Like, notice the facial features, like
the belly. Look at the belly, the boiler.
Yeah. Like, and now it's just gone. Like, I don't believe you go from that size to that size in 6 months. I just don't buy it. Like,
well, but it's the thing that I think it's possible, especially when you work for a world-class bodybuilding organization like an NFL football team. I think the hard part is the level of fat reduction. And this isn't even the best picture of him being thin. When you see him on the football field, there was a video of him on the football field. Dude, he has a flat stomach. Like his midsection is like he has actually got, my guy is thin. And I'm happy I don't give a shit how he got there. I mean, this version of Brian Daboll right here is way better than this version right here.
Yeah, I mean, here's the one that I feel like went around. There's this one of him wearing freaking Jordan 11s on the football field.
Yes, that's the exact picture I am talking about.
Yeah.
And you look at this picture of Daboll on the screen right now. And then you look at the contour down to his waist.
Yeah.
Like he has got that. Do you know how hard that I've had that one time in my life? And it was 2005. And I was running 4 days a week, lifting 4 days a week. I waited tables and hosted a radio show.
Yeah. Like you're working your ass off.
And that's the only way I ever had it. And it is, and I'm happy for the guy.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
He has no saying. Look at the boiler. Look at his gut.
Yeah.
And there is no gut there. I'm telling you, that's awesome. And I think Pilates is hugely important. I'd love to do it myself. I am the least flexible fat son of a bitch on the planet.
Right.
I would love to do it. That's not from Pilates. That's not. And even if you look at the weight, by some estimations, he's lost close to 100 pounds. If you are a middle-aged man and you're going to lose 100 pounds, something radically different happened. It's not going to be strength training, Pilates, and cardio.
No, it's a combination. It's
not
a total
in that window.
Lifestyle change.
And I'm happy for the dude, man. You are a better version of yourself.
And by the way, I think because of what he does for a living, this is a big deal for the team. Like if your head coach can say, "Hey, dude, like I did everything I could possibly do to get in shape and like be what I need to be. It's time for you guys to hold up your end of the bargain," type thing. Like I think that's great for him and his job.
It's amazing,
too, man.
I'm thrilled for the guy.
My only question is, again, to bring this full circle, my only question that still remains about these two drugs, Wegovy and Ozempic, is, hey, and I know you said there's studies coming out saying there's benefits to it, and I'm sure there is. But I've heard so many people say, hey, if you're going to take something that is going to change the way your body processes stuff, that's dangerous. And it concerns me when we've seen like some of the pictures about like Hollywood celebs.
Oh,
and like,
no, this is a great point. Tua tagged by your mama.
Yeah, Tua, another great point.
Tua
right?
Tagovailoa lost a ton of weight.
Yeah,
He's a guy though, but Tua and Daboll are totally different. Tua Tagovailoa, that's an NFL quarterback. That's an athlete that trains his body not once a day, multiple times a day. Multiple times a day. So I have no doubt that a guy like Tua, I have no doubt that he can do it, diet and exercise. I have no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Because he is, man, I got a bad sip of carbonation there. Jeez. He is a guy that is running constantly. But what is Tua's injury history? Broken hip, like through the back of his hip socket. Like you can't carry extra weight. And he was. And so for me, I think Brian Daboll, I don't care how you did. I'm happy for you, dude. But let's not sit here and pretend that, like, if you look at, and I keep going back to Oprah because I've seen pictures of her recently. Oprah is fucking thin. And as somebody, and I believe she's in her 60s now, you don't just all of a sudden hit a switch and go to the gym and start eating well. And she claims now, obviously, many of you know Oprah Winfrey owns Weight Watchers. But you look at Oprah Winfrey, she didn't do that on Weight Watchers.
No.
She didn't do that on no frozen meal. You look at Oprah Winfrey and go Google search it. I haven't Googled. I saw her on Twitter a couple of weeks ago is where I saw the picture.
Yeah.
And she just looks thin, dude. Like you look at her and I have a very hard time believing this is the picture I saw. Like Oprah at the color purple. And I think that she is, again, and I hope you guys don't think I'm coming off as bitter because I'm not. I just am a big time skeptic. And when I look at Oprah, who has battled her weight, and I don't have a fat picture of Oprah, but I think we've all seen Oprah at her heaviest. This is what she looks like now.
Oh, she looks good.
She looks really good.
Really good.
But are you telling me that
there's
that
no
version
way that just happened?
Are you telling me that version of Oprah? You're telling me that version of Oprah did this through diet and exercise? Is that what you're telling? There's not a chance in the world.
Well, and again, I think the question has to be asked, like, should Ozempic and Wegovy, whether you're an athlete, a celeb, like whoever you are, whatever you do, should it be viewed as a shortcut and should it be viewed negatively?
Is it a bad thing?
Yeah.
Is it a bad thing?
Is it a knock on your character to take Ozempic?
I don't think it is. I think we all have to do what we have to do. And I think here's the bottom line. We fat shame people all the time in this country, whether it's Donald Trump eating McDonald's or, Brian Daboll doing Pilates. We fat shame people. And I don't know why we care so much. The next time somebody in our comment section says I'm fat, won't be the first time. Like I hear it often. And I just have never understood, why do you care? And I think it's because we're a very vain society. I look at watching the Olympics. God damn, I wish I was a swimmer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing. All right, let's get a couple of your comments because then we got to get to actual NFL quarterback talk. What if Tua played for the Seahawks?
I'm not sure what you're doing there, dude.
I don't.
Yeah.
What is that guy? What does Tua have to do with the Seahawks?
Yeah, I don't know.
I have no idea. Tua just had to lay off then fish and chips, dude. Fish and chips. Fish and chips are so good. They're amazing. I just read that burping is a potential side effect of Ozempic. It may be. It may be. I'll let you know. I mean, I wouldn't know. Dilly. Some people that lose weight like that look so strange. After losing so much weight, Al Sharpton looks like he has a big head. Isn't it weird how some people wear it?
Yeah. Yes.
It is. I agree, Mike. That's a very good point.
Well, and I think the thing for us as people just watching this happen is like, we've known these people in their appearance for so long. Like you've known what dudes like Al Sharpton look like. You have an understanding in your brain like, hey, yeah, that's Al Sharpton. But
I'm really lucky though that I never had like the huge jowls or like I look at man, it's tough, dude. Like, it's weight loss is not easy and it does odd things to your body. LFG, no way Oprah did all that in the gym. I don't think so. But she says she did it I think she said walking and Weight Watchers. Now, again, I think she owns Weight Watchers, but Oprah has had bouts of losing a lot of weight and gaining it back prior to Ozempic. A lot. There's no doubt about it. No, Mike, I'm not saying that. Calford, I don't think people care if you're using it. Just be honest about it. I think there is something to that.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Brandon Butler, fat and appearance shaming is just low-hanging fruit. It's easy and takes no effort. Exactly right.
Yeah.
Shot Clock Todd. The committee will repo that trophy. The championship is tainted. I don't know what your taint has to do with this, but they're not taking the championship. and I think a lot of people want it. They're not going to. I think we learned from the USC situation. They're never ripping dudes natties again. They're not doing it. And why would you? UW fan Jim, I don't think Oprah hides the fact that she is on one of the new meds. Oh, really? I hadn't seen that. Oprah was a Weight Watchers celeb back in the day. She was. I think she does own the Weight Watchers brand now. I could be wrong. I'm way too much in the pop culture, but I'm pretty certain Oprah owns Weight Watchers. But who knows? Calford. It's like people doing liposuction, then saying diet and exercise. Yes.
But see, for me, that's a little different. Like plastic surgery style stuff, and then saying that you didn't have anything done. That to me is a knock on your character. You are going out of your way to quote unquote improve your physical features or whatever.
But why do we care how you did it?
Because the reason we care how you did it is because it's a matter of character, and it's a matter of saying, hey, yeah, this was my process. This is what I did.
So do we think less of Brian Daboll if he used Ozempic?
I think less of him because he said he just did it on Pilates, that he didn't
Pilates and nutrition.
Yeah, Pilates and nutrition. So you're saying you did all that. So if you're hiding the fact that you took Ozempic in addition to doing that, that tells me you feel like it's wrong to take Ozempic.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't know. Is it the diabetes scandal it used to be? I don't know. All
I'm saying is dudes like Brian Daboll should be honest about it. Like if you have a platform, like if Oprah did in fact take Ozempic, let's say, and there are some people saying that she's now championing it, I guess, or whatever, like talking about it. So Oprah is one I'd have to get clarity on, but Brian is the best example. He's saying he essentially did this natural. And I'm telling you that there's no way that a dude of his size at his peak lost all that weight and now looks as skinny as he. There's not a chance on God's green earth that he did that, dude. No way.
No chance. By the way, real quick, Brendan sent me a message on Insta Snapface. Is it true about Prize Picks giving you $50?
Dude, why do you think people like what?
You just that's one of the most bizarre things I've ever heard. Do you think they can falsely advertise and then not do it? That's true. Losing 100 pounds is going to take a couple of years. I need to do that. And I know it's going to be a couple of years, not 5 months. Get on it. This is what I try to tell people. Look at your life. You know where you're struggling. Are you sleeping well? If you need to lose 100 pounds, you're not sleeping well. If you are retaining water, if you are, your body's going to tell you, like you're going to know. And it's the thing that I don't understand is you need to get a physical every year. I'm 52, so I'm older than most of you, I think. I get a physical the first week of August every single year. It's why I advocate for people getting colonoscopies. And now did you guys see that there's actually a blood test that can be an indicator to your colorectal health? There's no reason not to do this stuff. If you don't know what your cholesterol is right now today, you're doing it wrong. Jake won't take blood pressure readings. Like I have a blood pressure cuff that I use, and I don't have high blood pressure. I never have, thankfully. But I like to know what my blood pressure is. Yesterday, it was 120/80. Right after dinner, I took it. Yesterday morning, it was 116/67.
Makes sense.
I like to know it. I'm telling you, man. Like you got to know. Connor, Oprah is on Ozempic, I heard. We'll see. Mike Smith, losing weight really fast also gives you all those loose, flappy skins versus doing it over time.
Yeah. I mean, you got to give your body time to adjust. I mean, I think people forget that your skin is an organ. Like, it will adjust. But if you just drop a bunch of weight, like, it's not, like, that's not going to work.
It's going to take time.
Yeah.
I am to wrap this up, because then I do want to talk about the Cowboys and quarterbacks. And I'm a big believer that the right way to lose weight, the right way to do this, without question, is to understand what your body is doing and how it works. Go to your doctor before you start losing weight. Go to your doctor and get your blood drawn. Figure out, hey, first of all, as a man, and I don't give a shit how old you are, as a man, where's my testosterone at? That's the number one question you need answered. I look at my guy, Darren Ingram, up at Canyons Golf. I just talked to Darren about this a couple of weeks ago. He got his testosterone tested. And I said, because he's legit chiseled.
Yeah, he's shredded, bro.
And so I said to him, dude, what are you doing? And he said, TRT, which is testosterone replacement therapy. And he said, I lift heavy shit several times a week. And that I am a big believer in. I think one of the main questions I'm going to ask on Thursday is I need to know where my testosterone is. And I want to know, hey, what can we do to figure out what kind of foods should I be eating? Like, because everybody's different. Okay, cool. Here's what I'm eating. What should I be eating? And then I think you have to have a strength training component, especially as you age. You guys in your 20s and 30s, if you're not lifting weight now, even twice a week, not even heavy shit, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. I'm a big believer in understanding how many calories you should eat. I think we make way too much out of protein intake in that we want to be eating 10,000 grams of protein a day. Get the real number. Understand what you need to eat. What do you need to thrive? What do you need to succeed? And then execute, which is fucking difficult. It's really difficult. If you're married, you need to do it with your spouse. You need to do it with your spouse. I could not eat the way I eat if Mrs. Monty and I were not doing it together. So go to the doctor, get a physical, ask him what your testosterone is. I would then, off of that blood work, because he's going to tell you high cholesterol, good cholesterol, bad cholesterol, blood fat, A1C. You need to know all that shit, right? In my case, I don't have any issues with that. My cholesterol is really good. It's perfect. My A1C is perfect. Like, I don't have any issues with that. I need to find out my testosterone. I'm about to start weightlifting 3 days a week again. And I'm going to remain active through golf. And I'm going to eat well. And let's see what happens. I'll let you know on Thursday. The official golf club of the Monty Show, of course, is Canyons Golf. Canyons Golf at Park City Mountain Resort. Love it. I say it all the time. This weekend is going to be hotter than Hades in the Valley. Get up to Park City and go play some golf at Canyons Golf. It's easy to book online. They have online tee times. It is a level of service that you're not used to, because whether it is the guys in the clubhouse, whether it is the people that get you up, loaded up on the cart, they'll carry your clubs down to the cart for you. You go out and you warm up. They have a hitting area where you warm up. You talk to the starter, and then you're off. And I believe that that's what separates Canyons. Their municipal pricing. I have never understood why people go to Mountain Dell instead of going up to Canyons. I love the lush fairways. I never have trouble putting a tee in the ground at Canyons. The thing that drives me crazy about places like Mountain Dell is that they don't put the time and effort in to maintain the course. So the tee boxes are rock hard. You can't even put a tee in the ground. At Canyons, the ground is lush. It is green. The grass is healthy. So you can put a tee in the ground. You're standing in good grass on the fairways. You're getting good lies. The rough is difficult, but that's what you want, right? You want 3 cuts of grass, fairway, first cut, second cut. You get that at Canyons. I love it. And it's in the middle of one of the best resorts in the world. At Canyons, Park City, Canyons Village is beautiful. You're playing in the mountains. You're playing with wildlife. It is awesome. Canyons Golf, the official golf course of the Monty Show. By the way, speaking of Darren Ingram, great teacher.
Yes.
Darren has helped me so much. He does. You can get with Darren Ingram and you can send him pictures and videos of your swing, and he'll text back and forth with you. He'll send you videos back showing you what you need to do. Like, it is fantastic. It is really, really good. He is a great teacher. He relates to you. And I think the thing I like about Darren so much is that he understands that your swing and my swing are 2 totally different things. And that, hey, I need to do this, but you don't need to do that. Like, we need to understand our golf swings are all unique and individual. And just the little tips that Darren gives me, and just like your pre-shot routine. So many people don't have a pre-shot routine, an alignment routine. Darren gave me an alignment routine that when I use it, because why would I want to take my time before I swing a golf club, make a golf shot? Especially with my irons and my wedges, I have to align myself perfectly or I am not going to be inaccurate. I'm not going to hit an accurate shot. It's little stuff like that that makes all the difference in the world when you're on the course. And, I think it's a huge difference. Darren Ingram is the best golf coach I've ever had, the best swing coach I've ever had. Hook it up. He is part of the show, by the way. He's in our members only group.
Yes.
So reach out to Darren. Funky Ingram on Instagram is where you'll find him. But Canyons Golf, the official golf club of the Monty Show. Ferris Khan, hi. Went to a party last night at 6:21 a.m. What did I miss? Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Let's get into NFL quarterbacks real quick, because then we have to piss off everybody. What do you guys make of some of the deals that have come out in the NFL? Because there's this story coming out of Fort Worth. Tarrant County, boy. The Dallas Cowboys are in financial trouble. And this report that CeeDee Lamb is on the verge of getting $160 million guaranteed. I think the number was $36 million on average. That's crazy money for CeeDee Lamb. But then you hear that Dak Prescott's going to be the first $60 million quarterback. And if I'm Micah Parsons, I'm like, well, what the hell am I getting? And I've never accused Jerry Jones of being good at football.
Right.
Are you prioritizing CeeDee Lamb over Micah Parsons, who I think is the best defensive player in the NFL? Micah Parsons, in my opinion, especially at the line of scrimmage, especially getting after the quarterback, I think Micah Parsons is the best defensive player in the NFL. And you're going to give CeeDee Lamb $36 to $38 million a year. Then you're going to pay Dak $60 million a year. And you're going to shortchange Micah Parsons. The math doesn't add up to me. I think it's a mistake not to pay Micah second.
Yeah, I mean, I think the question for Jerry Jones and the Cowboys is, who are you comfortable potentially losing, off of your roster? Who are you potentially, who are you comfortable potentially, having to deal with a trade demand or, basically just upsetting? Because these guys, one of them is going to be upset. And right now, the way it's trending, it does look like it's going to be Micah Parsons, which I have to agree, I'm surprised by. I feel like Micah makes more of an impact than Lamb does. I feel like in your biggest games, Micah has shown up. Micah has been making plays. Micah's been one of the reasons that your offense is consistently in position late in the game to go out and get you a win. And the problem is that there's not a question of whether Dak is going to get paid or not. They're going to pay Dak Prescott $60 a year, and that deal is going to get done because the Dallas Cowboys need a quarterback just like anybody else, and Dak is one of the best we have in the league. So you're going to pay Dak Prescott. That's not even in question. But the question really is, moving forward, how are you going to get both of these guys, and Micah and CeeDee, to sign and be able to work the rest of your roster? That's what I don't understand. And what's really fascinating to me when we talk about this situation for the Cowboys, every single day that goes by that you haven't done a deal, that you haven't finalized a deal with Dak Prescott, that number just keeps going up, man. When you look at some of these deals that have gone down around the league, this Jordan Love contract is absolutely absurd, dude.
Louise.
Like, I look at Jordan Love, and I said last week he'd get 55, and that's exactly what he got. That does not mean that he is worth 55 from a football perspective. All that means is that the Green Bay Packers, all they want is reliability at the position. They want to be able to say, okay, cool, we've got our guy. He showed us that he can go out and beat one of the best teams in the NFC in the Dallas Cowboys. Hey, he went into Jerry World and did his thing. That's why he got paid. If they'd have lost that game, I think we're having a different conversation. But he won that game, so he got paid. But then you look at Dak and you look at the Cowboys, and it's like, dude, like this guy's going to get $60 million. How much of that's going to be guaranteed? And why haven't you done the deal yet? That's what I don't get.
There's no way. Look at, these are the highest paid quarterbacks based on average per year, not total guarantee. Joe Burrow at 55, huge year for him. Jordan Love is the second highest paid quarterback at $55 million a year. And based on what? Based on what did you pay him more than Tua Tagovailoa? I'd rather have Tua than Jordan Love. I'd rather have, frankly, Justin Herbert at 52.5 now seems underpaid.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot believe that Jordan Love, who has proven nothing in this league, is now fully guaranteed $100 million. And it has a total guarantee of $160 million on a $220 million deal. I am shocked by that.
Well, the problem is that when you look at this list, like obviously we see the ebbs and flows of these contract numbers. Like you have this group of guys now who has really set the market at 55, like for your run-of-the-mill guy. And Jared Goff really was the issue last time around. Jared Goff getting, what does he have, 52?
53 on a $212 million deal.
Jared Goff getting 53
per year
is why dudes like Tua and Jordan Love, and with all due respect, Trevor Lawrence, are getting the numbers they're getting. Because again, in this league, if you either have a quarterback or you do not, and the teams who don't have quarterbacks don't generally win anything. So these squads that you look at right here are saying, okay, hey, we gotta pay our quarterback. Like we gotta have a quarterback, and then we'll deal with everything else.
It is insanity to me. You look at what of these contracts are good contracts. Is Joe Burrow looking like a good contract? It's not. Is Jordan Love a good contract? I don't believe that it will be. Is Trevor Lawrence at $275 and $55 a year a good deal? I think right now it is.
Yeah, for them, for that organization, Trevor's worth it.
Is Tua Tagovailoa at $53.1 million, but only guaranteed $93.1 million? That's a good deal for the Dolphins. And you can get out of that deal if you're going to take a cap hit, but that's the NFL.
Yeah.
Is Jared Goff at $53 million a year, 170 guaranteed, total guarantee? That's wild money. But this is where we are in the NFL now.
Yeah.
That you're paying a guy in Kyler Murray who has not accomplished dick.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the question mark.
Deshaun Watson, Kirk Cousins now looks underpaid at $180 million.
See, like, I'm fine with Kirk Cousins' deal. You know, at that, like when he got that deal, he was cooking. Like he was obviously playing really well with the Vikings before he got moved. Like I was fine with that deal at that time. But again, I'm just saying, like, you look at Kyler Murray's deal, you look at, like, it is all about like where the organization's at and like what your impact as a quarterback is as to whether the deal is good or not. But the hard part is that like you look at the NFC North and all these dudes getting paid. What's Caleb Williams going to get in 4 years? Like, is he going to be the first $70 million guy? Like, is that what we're looking at? And by the way, when does the upward trend that seemingly is never going to end, when does that level off? Because at some point, you hit the ceiling on paying one guy that much.
You're looking at Dak Prescott, and I'm a huge Dak guy. I'm not giving him a $20 million raise. I'm not. And I go to like the Jordan Love deal as a fan of the Chicago Bears.
The Bears.
I love the Jordan Love deal. They're handicapped now. They're not going to be able to surround him with a bunch of talent. And as a Bears fan, I love that because I've got a guy in Caleb Williams on a rookie deal who now, and I thought it was all BS, the shining of Caleb Williams. And, he's a great leader. But now you look at the reports coming for Caleb Williams out of camp, and you look at the answers that Caleb Williams is giving when he was asked, about what he's working on. And you just listen to Caleb Williams talk, and you feel pretty good about the Bears' future here.
Furthest away. It's a good question. I would say right now, working on my got me with that one. Stumped me. I would say working on my blitz looks, my blitz and coverage looks, and feeling the umbrella of the defense, and filling that out to adjust, to adjust protection, to adjust, whether it's a run, flip the run, flip the run into it, flip the protection. Get to a quick game, get to a cover zero check. However the structure of it works out, just progressing, and a lot of that comes with seeing it and reps, and so that's why also preseason and those things are so important.
Sounds and looks good to me.
I mean, that's why people are raving about him. Now, this week he's got to step into an NFL game and show he can do it, and that. He's saying all the right things. I am more impressed with Caleb Williams than I've ever been with Jordan Love. I look at some of the again, I'll go back to this chart. I understand a good number of these deals. I understand Trevor Lawrence. I don't understand Jordan Love. I don't understand what are the Dallas Cowboys doing with CeeDee Lamb. And you look at this situation where you're going to pay Dak $60 million.
Yeah.
You're going to sign CeeDee Lamb. You're all but closing the door on making Micah Parsons paid amongst his peers. So now you're just saying, okay, at some point now we are pretty much guaranteeing that Micah Parsons won't be a Dallas Cowboy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're guaranteeing. If you pay Dak and CeeDee Lamb first, you're guaranteeing Micah Parsons won't be a Dallas Cowboy. And I believe, again, what has Micah Parsons done in any way, shape, or form to earn third position in the payment scale with these guys?
And I think if the real issue I have with Jera here is we've seen multiple organizations go light in the wide receiver room because they have a great quarterback. So like if you look at Patty Mahomes, if you look at, what Dak is capable of, you look at these different guys around the league, hell, even Justin Herbert on a pretty mediocre team throwing the ball around, like these quarterbacks can get the job done if their wide receiver runs the route correctly. And so instead of going cheap on Micah, what you should be doing is saying, hey, yeah, we're going to get Dak done. We're going to get Micah done because we need both sides of the ball to be, strong. But if we need to let Lamb walk, if he wants to hold out and pay the fines and stuff, let him do that. Because what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we develop our wide receiver room more, because that's the thing.
Or save 3/4 of that CeeDee Lamb deal and go get 3 wide receivers. Because I agree, their wide receiver room is light. I totally understand it. The decisions that they made and the way that this roster is probably more slanted at defense. I mean, I'm looking at their numbers. DeMarcus Lawrence, 8% of the cap. I think the Zach Martin deal was a deal you had to do. But Trayvon Diggs, I mean, Donovan Wilson, Micah Parsons only making 5.4. Micah Parsons should be 10, 12, probably more like 15 to 70% of your cap. I'm not paying CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'd rather trade him than pay him. And he's hard to replace. I get it. When he's engaged, he's an elite wide receiver. How often is he engaged? And of course, now the big question is, are you really going to pay Dak Prescott $60 million?
Yeah, I don't have any doubt about that. That's like a given. You're doing that. You're not letting Dak Prescott walk. That's not happening.
I'm amazed by it. I'm amazed by the money that we are seeing.
And this is kind of my point with the NFL, dude. Like in the NBA, I get it. Like the NBA has so much money going through it that paying, mid-level guy who comes off the bench for 15 minutes, paying dude like some ridiculous contract doesn't really hurt your situation all that much. But in the NFL, like, you're talking about a guy in Micah Parsons who can save your season potentially. That part of your season that you seemingly get to and you lose the game where, you need to beat the Saints or you need to beat whatever team it is to get into the postseason.
Yeah.
Micah makes that play. And Lamb so often has not. And by the way, I'd also point out Micah's per year hit is going to be less than Lamb's per year hit because of the positions they play. So I don't know, dude. I at some point, Jerry Jones needs to either get the hell out of the way or start understanding how his team wins football games. Because again, that's what all this comes down to. Why do you think Jordan Love got the deal he got? Because they're not interested in going out and finding another guy when the guy they have can go on the road and win playoff games because he's got a really good head coach in LaFleur.
All I know about Micah Parsons is that this cat's going into his 4th year and he's got 40.5 sacks and 200 tackles.
Think about that.
And he's rookie of the year and he's a 2-time All-Pro, 3-time Pro Bowler, Buckus Award. Like, you look at what he did in college, All-American, linebacker of the year.
So he's going into his 4th season and already has 40.
Yeah. And he's only 25.
Bro, that's more. What is that? 12 and a half a year?
13 a year. 13 and a half and 14.
Dude, like, come on, man.
And could he be better in coverage? Yes. Can he be better at, I think one of the things he has to get better at is shedding the block. I think certainly. I want him to murder quarterbacks.
I was going to say, bro, if he needs to get better at shedding blocks, what is he going to be? 18, 19 sacks a year?
The pass rush is different.
Yeah.
When he's in pass rush, he's fine. It's when the issue for Micah is when they run at him, he needs to be a better on-ball defender.
Yeah.
He certainly, I mean, with the proliferation and the emergence of the tight end as a weapon, he could always be better in coverage.
Yeah.
I'll pay that guy every day because he's 25 and he's gotten better every single year.
Yeah.
That is, I maintain, I understand the hierarchy of defenders in this league, but if you start looking at the guys that are edge rushers in this league,
yeah,
I'm happy to take Micah Parsons over Nick Bosa. Micah Parsons is far more versatile. I look at Brian Burns with the Giants, who's got a $28.2 million AAV. Well, I got to pay Micah Parsons more than $28.2 million.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at Bosa, Allen, TJ Watt. TJ Watt's in the discussion as best defenders. Myles Garrett. I'll take Micah Parsons because Myles Garrett's going to be 30 years old. And that's the thing that so many people don't understand. Micah Parsons is 25 years old. Going into his 4th season in the NFL. He this year, and again, everybody says, well, bro, I'm in the best shape of my life. He looks like it. I'd be stunned if he was not a better drop coverage guy this year.
Yeah.
I'd be stunned if he was not better again. I think coverage is arguably one of the places that he could improve most. But am I paying him less than Max Crosby? Fuck out of here. He's better than Max Crosby.
Yeah, he is.
He's better than, and again, I would just ask you, who's the defender in this league that's had more of an impact? He's got 40 sacks in 3 years.
Yeah.
He's 25 years old.
And why do you think he's got so many sacks? Oh, that's right, because he doesn't always have to be on the line.
It's crazy.
He can come from different places.
$34 million in Bosa's $34 million and 122.5 guaranteed. That's the going rate for Micah Parsons. It is. Love had a good half season and got paid. It's a huge risk as a Bears fan. I love it. Me too.
But what else were they going to do? You know what I
Me
mean?
too.
Like what else were like if people are questioning whether the Cowboys are going to pay Dak 60, what were the Packers supposed to do? Well, I mean, were you seriously going to meddle in quarterback hell? You weren't going to do that. Lock dude up, overpay him, get it. It's very much this thing where it's like, hey, like you're very much in this situation where you don't want to deal with that problem.
Yeah.
Just pay the guy and deal with it. Like that's what I feel like owners are doing now. Hey, let's get our guy locked up. Let's full support of the organization behind him. Like with Tua, I thought what was so interesting is what we heard after the deal got done. Tua goes on this thing where he talks about, hey, you know, Mike McDaniel, my head coach, went to bat for me, and my head coach, and you know, like he went to bat for me, and like he got the deal done, and you know, and it's like, dude, like if you're a guy like Mike McDaniel, you're staking your time at that organization on Tua. Tua damn well better come through on that contract,
but
if you're going to be there.
But you also need to ask yourself, if it's not Tua or in Dallas, if it's not Dak, who are you going to replace him with? Are you going to make a trade for Kirk Cousins? Is that an upgrade? Dak's better than Kirk Cousins.
Well, who are you going to replace Lamb with? Oh, I know.
I think wide receivers. I look at Cincinnati and Jamar Chase. What the fuck are you guys doing?
Seriously.
Pay the guy. Justin Jefferson. You paid the guy. CeeDee Lamb is not either of those guys.
And by the way, think about the impact this has on your locker room. When you pay guys, all of a sudden everyone's like, hey, we all got paid. Let's go out and do our job.
In my opinion, Dak Prescott should be the number one priority. Micah Parsons should be 1A. He's 25 years old, and he's already, in my opinion, the best defender in the NFL. And if you pay him third, you're asking to get what you put out. Only time you pay a wide receiver nowadays is a Justin Jefferson type player. Totally agree.
Yeah. And Lamb is not Justin Jefferson.
If Prize Picks has Williams in a doomsday for more than 3 touchdowns, take it. Go Dogs.
Oh, you'll have that. Do you play Prize Picks? Does he?
You should. Who else the boys going to get if they let Dak go? I agree.
Precisely the question.
It isn't a boneless chicken wing and a chicken nugget the same thing.
Dude, we discussed this yesterday.
Don't choose violence. Send CD to my Saints. No, I'm not playing your game. JJ McCarthy to Justin Jefferson. JJ McCarthy will never be.
Dude.
He will never be that guy. Tanner Plummer, you're more impressed with Caleb than you are with Jordan Love? Absolutely. 100%. 100%. Jordan Love has been sitting behind Aaron Rodgers all that time. And when did we really see him emerge? Not until really the second half of last year. And he essentially is living on that win against Dallas.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think that's why he got paid.
Anybody that's taking Jordan Love over Caleb Williams doesn't know shit about the NFL.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, JJ McCarthy, same exact thing. Bo's Nix, same exact thing. You either have it or you don't, right out of the gate.
And what are we hearing about Bo Nix? Hey, great leader, maybe not the most athletic guy, but he's a leader of dudes, and guys like playing with him. So I think he's probably going to get that job.
And unfortunately in Chicago, we're well aware that when Mitch Trubisky and Justin Fields don't have it right out of the gate, has Jared Goff ever been a different quarterback than he's been his entire NFL career? No. It's been the same fucking guy. It's been the same guy.
Mm-hmm.
The same guy. Dak Prescott, the same guy. But people want to say Dak sucks. Dak does not suck. Yeah. Dak's an elite quarterback in this league. You know who's gotten, and not because I love the guy and he's my Preston Stone, right?
Stay home.
Justin Herbert.
Dude.
Justin Herbert has gotten, and now the question is, with better protection, what does Justin Herbert look like?
That team is going to be tougher because of Jim. And Justin Herbert is going to be a better quarterback. And I'm not even a Jim Harbaugh guy. Y'all know that. But when you see Herbert in the line with Jim and with the offensive linemen doing their thing, like, you know that Justin Herbert's going to get better. And again, I'm just telling you, man, like I every year we talk about this, Jerry finds a way to mess it up.
Yes, he does.
And I'm impressed with the Bears. I'm happy. I feel like the Bears are progressing a little bit. They finally, I feel like, mentally are on the right track to running the organization they need, the way they need to run it to have success. All I'm hoping for is that the play calling gets better and that you let Caleb Williams play the game. I don't even care if he throws bad picks this year.
Somebody has to stand up in these quarterback conversations and be like, I'm not paying. This is what I enjoy about Hard Knocks offseason with the Giants.
Yeah.
We paid this guy. We have to give him every chance to fail. It's exactly right. Exactly right. At some point, somebody's got to stand up to Jordan Love and say, yeah, we're not paying you $55 a year. And if you choose to walk out the door after this season, okay, cool. We're not paying you $55 a year, and we're going to tag you. So you're going to play here, and you're going to be well paid as a quarterback. But we're not giving you a long-term deal at $55 million a year. Who is going to stand up to a quarterback and say that?
It will be it'll be an organization that wins on a regular basis and understands the formula and has the balls to say, hey, Pat Mahomes or whoever that guy is that's going to look at 70, 75 a year, because that is going to happen. Hey, look, man, if we had the money, we would pay you that kind of money. It's not the premise of paying you that money per se. It's more about, we're not going to be able to continue to go out and win if we're paying you, I don't know what that would be, like 25% of the cap or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we can't do that. So I don't know. Like Josh Allen's another good example. Not sure that I'd be willing to pay Josh Allen $65 a year.
Shocking news here. Somebody figured out that Australia is not the basketball juggernaut that they said they were. Motherfuckers, you got beat by RJ Barrett's 24 points today as Canada goes to 2-0 by beating Australia.
Wow.
Congratulations. All right, let's piss a bunch of people off now because we don't have a lot of time.
Now, before we get into this, I want people to understand, we spoke about this briefly yesterday. Remember what we talked about yesterday? Hey, what the hell is Fox News doing? What happened to pro Donnie Fox News? Because you're about to see some stuff that I'm not sure that I've ever seen before at Fox News.
So yesterday was not a good day for Republicans on Fox News. And I should say, again, I want to make this really clear because a bunch of people lost their shit in my Instagram last night. The Republican Party is different than the party of Trump. It's never been clearer than it is now. Let's start with Donald. Donald goes on Laura Ingram's show and does a sit-down exclusive one-on-one.
Right.
One of the big questions is, why aren't you willing to debate, Kamala Harris? Why aren't you willing to debate, her? Oh, I am. I'm going to debate her as soon as they make her the nominee. Oh, really? Because that's not what Donnie told Laura Ingraham on Fox News last night.
But because they already know everything. She wants to defund our police. She wants no bail. She wants no cash. You kill somebody and we're going to release you immediately. They call it cashless. By the way, this has been a horrible thing for our country. This has been what I just said. But we know where she is. She wants high taxes.
Well, they're going to say you're afraid of debating her. That's what they're going to say.
Well, they said that with Biden, too. I was afraid. I did great with Biden, and I did great in every debate. I've had a lot of debates.
But you're winning on all the issues,
but, right? I'm leading in the polls by, I think, a lot. I don't know. I hear different numbers. But I'm leading in all of the polls. I'm leading big in all of.
So wait a minute. Let me get this right. You did great in the debates. You didn't do great in the Biden debate. You had, and the party of Trump better be thanking their lucky stars that old man Biden was so senile and out of his goddamn mind.
For real.
Because we've talked about it on the show. Donald Trump did not have a good debate.
And by the way, we're not the only show that's saying it. That was like widely reported.
And here comes the misinformation that she wants open borders. At no point has any Democrat, let alone Kamala Harris, said she wants open borders. Nobody has ever said that. Nobody that knows what polling is says that Donnie is leading big in the battleground states. Did I mention that Fox News did a poll? This is their poll. Here are the main battleground states. Trump and Harris tied in Michigan. Trump and Harris tied in Pennsylvania. Trump leads Harris by 1 point in Wisconsin. Trump is up by 2 points in Georgia. Where's the huge lead in battleground states? And again, I just ask, why are we continuing this trend of insulting Kamala Harris as a platform? Why? And at what point do the party of Trump start just talking about issues? This cash bail issue is a non-starter.
Cashless.
It's a non-starter, dude. You know why? Because you guys won't take the time to explain what it really is, because you know if you explain what it really is, it doesn't help you. He again in this interview, and I encourage you to go watch it. It's a remarkable 20 minutes of just straight bullshit. He's talking about how this wave of immigrant crime again. He's talking about 2020 again. They stole the election. There's no evidence to back that up. He goes to Minnesota yesterday and says if the Republicans lose, if the party of Trump loses this state, it'd be historic and we know it's stolen. When's the last time Minnesota went Republican? It wouldn't be shocking at all if Minnesota went for the Democrats. But we're just sitting here spewing this over and over again. And then you go to Neil Cavuto yesterday on Fox. This is more remarkable because here you have a Trump party senator getting just ass kicked on Fox News for insulting Kamala Harris and name-calling her.
Yeah, that we should have a law that says you can have an abortion at any point, no questions asked, even up until the moment of birth, I think for most Americans is a loon wing position. That's just my opinion, and but that's also what the
just to
polls
make it,
show.
you're absolutely fair game to make it. I'm just wondering how you think that will resonate with women when she is called nasty and crazy and a ding dong and all and disrespectful between you and the president. What has been said about her? I'm just wondering, do you worry how that comes across? And maybe you draw no distinction between a female candidate and a male, and that's fair game. But that this could hurt you with female voters with these type of comments.
Well, let me say it again.
Sure.
The vice president is a candidate for president of the United States. I don't care about her gender, Neil. Maybe you do, but I don't. I don't care about her race. I care about her
Then
competence.
why call her a ding dong? Why call her a ding dong?
And I'm telling you what the polling shows. I'm telling you what the polling shows. And it does. And I'll be glad to sit down with you and walk you through the polls.
Please do, because I never know when it's constructed to call people names. Senator, on the left or the right. But
I'm sorry if it hurts your feelings, but let me say it again.
Senator, you keep bringing it back to my feelings. My feelings matter a little. All I'm telling you is if you think you can gain this November calling people names, I don't know how far that goes, left or right.
Bro.
And there's a couple of things here. Donald Trump said this same exact thing about abortion on Fox News last night, that Kamala Harris supports abortion to the moment of birth. Nobody supports abortion up to the moment of birth. Nobody. Show me where Kamala Harris or any Democratic politician of any kind has said we should be able to perform an abortion as soon as the child is born. Show me where please show me where Kamala Harris has said that. But yet you continue on with this fact that Kamala Harris supports abortion to the moment of birth. And there's no evidence of that.
Yeah.
There's no evidence of that whatsoever. And then we go back to this thing. We didn't play the part of the clip where Senator Kennedy there straight up referred to Kamala Harris as a ding-dong. He called her a ding-dong and said that polling shows that people think she's a ding-dong. I've just shown you the polling that straight up tells you, well, if you thought she was a ding-dong, would you be tied or within a point if you thought she was a ding-dong? No, you would not. No, you would. There's no polling to support this shit. And again, now you're at a point where you have Neil Cavuto saying what I've been saying for 2 weeks. Talk about the issues. Stop calling people names. That doesn't bring people to the ballot box. And what else did Cavuto say right there? And Laura Ingraham, to her credit, said the same thing to Trump. Are you not concerned that this rhetoric will drive female voters to the other side?
Well, and it seems like that and this is the part that fascinates me about Fox News. It seems like after the whole, the Dominion voting suit and all that stuff that happened with Tucker, it seems like the network's like kind of shifted. And so we're getting more of this now where they're more comfortable saying, hey, do you think it's hurting you that you just keep name calling and basically taking the low cash approach?
But how did Kennedy respond to that? He started insulting Neil Cavuto. He started saying, well, the facts and the polls. What facts and what polls? Well, I'll come and sit down and show you. No, you won't. You know you won't. And it goes back to Donald Trump. Well, the polls say I'm leading big in battleground states. They don't say that. And Laura Ingraham is never going to sit in front of Donald Trump and say, okay, well, where are those polls? Because there aren't any. And you look at this thing, and I'm begging the party of Trump. I am begging you. Get on a message. Go after her on Afghanistan. Go after her. Hey, you want to hang the borders are tag on her? I'm all for that. Do it. Stop insulting her because she's got a vagina. That's what this is. And now all of a sudden you say on Fox News you're not willing to debate her. Well, people know my beliefs. People know her beliefs. Why won't you debate her? You're better than she is. Go and debate her. There's no explanation as to why he will not debate Kamala Harris. It makes no sense. And I would love the conversation. It is crazy to me. Like this abortion thing. Never mind that there's no evidence that any Democratic operative, candidate, senator, anybody has ever said that about abortion to the moment of birth.
Yeah.
But not only that, you're messaging on the other side about completely banning abortion. JD Vance out here talking about how abortion will be 100% against the law in this country. And you have so much so that you have medical professionals cutting commercials for Kamala Harris talking about how they're in fear of losing their careers because they will lose their license if they perform the service, and that they are sending their patients to other states.
Yeah.
We're openly talking about this now, and I wish people understood it. I don't understand why you won't talk about the issues. I don't understand why you can't grasp the fact that you're driving minorities and women voters to the other side. And it's because this is the modus operandi for the party of Trump.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
And now even Fox News is calling you out on it. You've got to get on message.
Yeah,
man.
Well, and I think for the party of Trump, I agree you got to get on message, but I think for them it's more than that. Like I think it's a shift in strategy. Like their strategy is pretty clear. Like you're seeing it from senators, you're seeing it from Don. Like that sector of the party, their focus is just name calling, like doing what we're talking about here. And I feel like it would be for them, for that sect to shift, it would be a big deal for them to shift to talking issues, because the problem is that, and again, I'm not a huge Harris supporter, but the reality of the situation is she has evolved. She is a different candidate now than she was before, and she doesn't have as many holes in her game. But to my guy's credit, right? Like, what should you be picking on her for? Hey, yeah, definitely Afghanistan, like definitely some of the issues, but do it in a more credible way, because that's what I think your issue is.
The Teamsters again yesterday saying, well, we haven't decided who we're going to back on a national platform, but we are going to spend money across both parties. So this idea again that Trump is the party of unions, that's lost. Like, you've got to get on message. When is the last time you heard any Trump party Republican say, we need to ask her questions about Afghanistan?
Yeah.
We need to ask her questions about the border. And I think the reason they're not talking about the border is because he torpedoed a bipartisan border reform bill that she had a huge hand in negotiating.
Yeah.
And the minute he brings that up, border stuff, she's going to say, well, I was part of the team that negotiated a bipartisan border bill that you chose to torpedo, that had a support across the board. Would have been done in 3 days. Would have been done in 3 days, and he torpedoed it.
I just think that they need to, like, Trump and that party, if they're going to start making progress here, they need to take a much more powerful stance. Hey, yeah, let's debate. Yep, let's debate. We're going to call Harris out on her issues, and we're going to have a real conversation with her about it. Like, that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for, like, I almost feel like it's they feel like they got to walk a fine line because they don't know how to get after Harris without name calling her. And it's like, dude, there's windows and opportunity here. Like, there are things that you can get after her on, but Don's style just is not that.
I agree. All right, there you go. There's your daily dose of reality for the morning.
We look forward to seeing you in the DMs.
The Monty Show is always presented by The Advocates, theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. Chat with an injury attorney live online 24/7, 365. It won't cost you a dime at theadvocates.com. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.